Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the ancient Analects, but we're not just reading quotes. We are witnessing a full-blown masterclass in leadership, ethics, and education, taught by Confucius himself, all through one single intense conversation.
So, here's the setup. It all starts with a crisis. A really powerful lord is about to kick off an unjust war. And guess who his chief advisors are? Two of Confucius's own students. And they are stuck, really stuck, right between their duty to their boss and the lessons of their master.
So, we're going to follow this high-stakes meeting as it all goes down. We'll see how Confucius, just brilliantly, guides his students from this one specific political mess to these huge universal ideas that govern not just a stable country, but a good life. All right, so it all kicks off when two of Confucius' students, Ran Yu and Ji Lu, show up. And they're basically looking for their teacher to sign off on something. They tell him their lord, who's the head of the super powerful Ji family, is all set to attack the small, independent state of Juan-Yu.
And they try to sell him on it, right? They lay out this whole strategic case. They say, look, it's a preemptive strike. It's about security for our kids and grandkids. But you can just feel Confucius is not buying it. He immediately cuts through the noise. He's not interested in their war games. He's interested in their part in all of this.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Confucius doesn't even bother arguing about their military strategy. No, instead, he just completely flips the script. He's about to deliver this absolutely stunning diagnosis of where the real problem is. So what do the students do? They try to wash their hands of it. They say, hey, this isn't on us, man. We're just the advisors. We're just following orders. Oh, but Confucius has zero time for that excuse. He tells them a real advisor doesn't just stand there while the house burns down. He hits them with this analogy. If a tiger gets out of its cage or a priceless jade carving gets smashed in its box, whose fault is it? It's the guardian's, every time. And this right here is the turning point of the whole conversation. Confucius tells them, stop looking at maps, stop looking for enemies out there. The real threat, the true sickness, he says, is right here at home. It's inside your own government. So here's a diagnosis. Confucius says the whole state is cracking up from the inside because the people in charge have completely failed to create any sense of fairness or harmony. When you have inequality, you get resentment. And when you have resentment, you get instability. Attacking your neighbor? That's just a magic trick to get everyone to look the other way. Okay, so he's told them what's wrong. Now, what's the fix? Well, Confucius basically lays out the cure. He gives them a kind of rule book for any leader who actually wants to build something that lasts. And this gets right to the heart of his political philosophy. See, a healthy, stable world has one clear, legitimate leader at the top, the emperor, the son of heaven. The minute you have local warlords like their boss just deciding to start their own wars, that's a giant red flag that the whole system is broken and chaos is just around the corner. And then he brings it right down from the level of the state to the people you hang out with. He's basically saying a leader is only as good as their inner circle. So are your advisors honest, sincere? Do they actually know what they're talking about? Or are they just a bunch of yes men telling you your hair looks great? The entire fate of your state could hang on that question. So we've gone from the big picture of the state down to a leader's inner circle. And now Confucius takes it one step deeper, to you, to the individual. Because for him, you can't even dream of leading other people if you haven't learned to lead yourself first. It all starts from within. And he gives this amazingly practical roadmap for your entire life. He knew that the things that trip us up change as we get older. The challenges you face in your youth are totally different from the ones you face in middle age or when you're older. A truly wise person stays on guard at every single stage of life. I mean, this is just brilliant, isn't it? It's basically a mental checklist for living an intentional life. Before you look, before you listen, before you speak, you just pause and you think, am I being clear? Am I being respectful? Is this the right thing to do? This isn't some dusty, abstract philosophy. It's a daily practice. So you might be asking, okay, how do you actually build this kind of character? Where do you even start? For Confucius, the answer was simple: education. And we get this really rare personal look at what he means through a little story about him and his own son. So the story goes, one day, Confucius sees his son, Boyu, just rushing through the courtyard, and he stops him. But he doesn't ask about his homework or his chores. He asks him this one simple question. He asks him about poetry. Now, why poetry? The odes? Because for Confucius, poetry was basically the textbook for empathy. It teaches you the subtleties of human feeling, and it gives you the words to express yourself with real meaning and grace. If you don't have that, you can't really connect with anyone.
And then, on a completely different day, the same thing happens. Confucius sees his son, stops him again, and this time he asks him if he's studied the rites, the traditions, the ceremonies, the social rules that hold society together.
Think of it like this. If poetry gives you the words, the rites give you the grammar. There's a social playbook. They teach you how to conduct yourself, how to relate to other people, how to act properly in any situation. Without them, you're just kind of lost, with no stable ground to stand on. The student who overheard all this, he realized he got a 3-for-1 deal. He learned about the importance of poetry, he learned about the importance of the rites, and he learned that a truly great teacher holds everyone to the highest standard, without playing favorites, not even with his own son. The whole masterclass started with a war, but it ended with the real foundation of peace: learning.